We're on the road, literally.
But we're parked.
Yeah,
So
don't worry. We're being safe.
We're in my car, which is probably evident because this is
because of the evidence
from the Cryptozoology Museum.
Of course.
3 years ago.
Your love.
We're sitting in the car outside of our show in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Yes.
So hopefully it went well.
Yeah.
This is before
we
it
hope.
happens. So
yeah, can't see the future, unfortunately.
I tell you that we hung out with two of our best friends.
Oh my gosh, our best friends.
Jerry and Sarah from Ladies and Tangents. We're obsessed with them.
I hope it's returned. No, I think it is. I just spent an hour talking to Jerry. Yeah.
We're real friends.
Yes.
We text and talk all the time now. So
and we polo each other.
We polo each other hard.
Hard. Let's get to the point.
With them last year because we're making this an annual thing. I think. So we have another crossover with them,
which you're about to listen to.
In classic TGOG fashion, we're bad at math, and so this was supposed to be part 1, but it's actually coming out a week after theirs. So go check out
actual part 1
on their feed from last Tuesday.
And then here's part 2, and it's like the creepy Bachelorette.
Yeah,
as
the
in
dark side of marriage.
Speaking of, Brian is behind us in the car. He's gone dark, so he can't hear us.
No.
But it's not a ghost.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Hi, this is Two Girls, One Ghost.
Two girls, one ghost.
That sounded like so sultry and better than I think we need to hire you two to always do the whisper.
Well, we were doing all that nipple talk before.
Yeah, so I got really into it.
Turned on.
Listen, I have been waiting to tell you both something that I waited until this moment to do it. Okay. So I looked at my Saturn return. I Googled it. I Googled it. Yes, I Googled it.
Save time, combine words.
It's called the Lunar Google.
Yes.
That's where I found it.
So it told me the exact date. And do you want to hear something crazy? So my first one ever was when I was 29. Okay. I had not had any other ones. And it was the exact day that we conceived my daughter. To the day. And it just so happened that month was when we started putting things on TikTok for the podcast. And that was when we were really like, TikTok started really taking off. And me and Jerry were having conversations like, this might actually be a thing. Like February 3rd, 2021. Ooh, I have goosebumps just talking about it. So when that date popped up, I was like, what the fuck?
We both missed our Saturn return. Ciara had a very, very positive one.
Yeah. Well, but it was chaotic. I will tell you, it was chaos. It was, you're going to have a baby. Also, you're kind of getting sort of famous. Also, like TikTok's blowing up and people are trying to talk to you and this is happening. And
your career change.
Yeah. And so all of that was it all good things? Amazing. Yes. But kind of a lot. But it could be good. That's what we found out.
It could be, unless you're me.
Yeah, well,
I was going to say mine. I did not have a good one because mine was around the exact same time because our birthdays are 9 days apart. So mine was maybe 9 days after. I think it was like the 21st or something of February. Yeah. But around that time, I had just started going to therapy in 2020, and so this was in 2021 when we were 29, and I had come to realize that my childhood was not what I thought it was, that I had experienced a lot more trauma than I had realized. And the kind of therapy work that she was having me do actually had the opposite effect on me. And I, trigger warning, almost took my own life. So it was like
not the same.
Not the same. Jeez. It was like a lot, but we talked about it in one of the episodes of the podcast. It's like when that happened, I felt like the tapestry of my life, like I had started pulling strings and it all started to fall apart in a clump on the ground. And I was like, who am I? What am I? I'm nothing. But now I feel like I've gotten to build myself back up. That was 100% a turning point for me.
Yeah.
Wow. I would agree. Isn't that so wild that you have to like completely deconstruct your life and upbringing and get to a deeper, worse place in order to rebuild?
Yes.
The first time I started going to therapy, my therapist was like, this is going to really suck. I just want you to know that. This is the only time that you've gone. Okay. It's going to suck for a while. And I was like, okay. She's like, you're going to think it's going well. It's going to start sucking again. I just need you to be aware that that is normal.
It's a part of it.
Yes.
When I did that trauma treatment, like I went to it because I was having suicidal ideations and like I was like having panic attacks daily. Like it was miserable. And I was like, how can it get worse than this? That's why I went into treatment. And then they were like, it's going to get worse. And it just continually, I was like, how? Yeah. How am I?
Feels like you shouldn't be allowed to set me home after this. No, it's fine.
Yeah. 100%.
Outpatient.
Yeah. I'm like, why are you not strapping me to a bed?
But it's almost like before you have been getting almost like temporary fixes.
Yeah.
Putting Band-Aids on stuff.
Band-Aids over a
and this is like
crack in the wall of water. What am I trying
We're just going to knock this house down because there's entirely too much going on. We got to rebuild it from the ground up.
No more Band-Aids.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we've talked a lot about just like manifestations and getting into like your astral body and meditating. And we recently did an episode on someone, Penny Whitbrought, who had this near-death experience that was just like so wild. And one of the things that was in her case that's in a lot of other people's, and that like we've discussed when people kind of go to that place and try to find what they need to work on when it comes to like trauma and just repressed memories, is seeing a brick wall. And that seems to be a common thread where like you take one brick off and you deal with that one brick. And sometimes that brick gets...
I mean, I told you this before we ever did that episode. I was doing EMDR for a lot of different experiences, and I was working through a bunch, and I feel EMDR is absolutely incredible.
I am so curious to know what your experience is because
she's doing it.
I just had one that I think you would find fascinating.
What's your capsule?
What is that? Oh, what is that?
Where you lock it away before you wrap up the sessions?
Okay, so we don't have a capsule necessarily. It's more so like, where's my safe space? It's like, okay, we're going to take your inner child and put them somewhere where they feel comfortable rather than leaving them here. So I'm assuming that's what it is. It's our grandma's house.
Aww.
Sweet. So I go there because I used to have sleepovers with her, and we would color and we'd watch TV shows. And
she had the best silk cheetah print pajamas that you've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
Like they look like a full suit though, like in pajamas. It was like long sleeves, the collar, silk.
Ice cream
sandwiches. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm in my pajama era. Like I want every night.
Yes.
Like all day I'll wear the same sweatpants, like sweatshirt all day, every day for the state, like, for the whole week. But every night I want a new set of really nice pajamas. Yeah.
I love that for you. I don't even sleep with pajamas on. I sleep like in the nude, but I think I'm going to start just wearing pajamas until I get
you can wear them
bed.
up until the point that you go to bed.
Yeah.
Just take them off.
No more. Oh, because that sounds fun.
These are my evening jammies.
I'm gonna wear my daytime jammies, which is my sweats in the morning.
I have my daytime jammies, my evening jammies, and my sleep nakies.
My sleep nakies.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Wait, where's it? What's yours? Your capsule.
Oh, okay. So, my safe space was my safe space was an apartment that I went to look at. It was like so beautiful. I didn't end up getting it, but it was like, I just could picture my whole life there. And I had a bunch of foster kittens running around.
Oh.
Lovely. But then I had, so at the end when I would, before like coming out of the EMDR, I would lock all of my stuff into a capsule, and I chose like a jewelry box that I had growing up.
Cute.
Love that.
So I would like shove everything in there, and it was kind of really fun because I got to punch the people who were like, fuck you, and then like trap them in a box,
just like
shoving them in. Yeah. Try to scream and get out. You can't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stuck. That's good.
But what I was going to say is that there was a point where I hit a brick wall. Like truly, I saw like images from my life, and I was having like physical reactions. Like I felt like I was having ringing on my left side of my ear, and then I felt like tension on my left arm, like someone had been grabbing it. But then when I tried to dive deeper and feel those feelings and try to figure out why I was feeling those, brick wall.
Yeah.
Brick wall every single time, could not get past it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe we leave it here for now.
Yep. I just had to do that in my last session.
Yeah.
Yeah, I swear, I remember you telling me you tried to like grab one brick and it kind of like flew back, like it sucked back. It just like, nope. Like it was like, we're not dealing with that yet.
So you're a very visual person too.
So similar to how yours was.
When I tell people like what I'm experiencing during EMDR, they're like, are you talking out loud? And I'm like, no.
I can't fathom it because
it's all in your head.
Nothing happens inside my head like that, really.
But nothing happens. But you're engaging your subconscious. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
But back to the brick wall thing. I know what you're talking about because I've seen those images before where they're showing the brick wall and only one brick is out of place, but the whole wall is destroyed essentially. Like it's not level. Yeah, it's like only one thing can be a catalyst to set everything out, be off kilter kind of stuff. But I think I told this story on our Patreon. So I have been working through a lot of childhood trauma in regards to some really unsafe people in my life. And when I have nightmares or when I'm doing EMDR, a lot of times I'm in the basement of their house. And so I was really trying to work on like separating my husband from the unsafe people in my life. And because he'll do certain things like normal human emotions that my body registers as a trigger for what these people would do. But he doesn't have the same outcome as them. So it's not fair for either of us for me to have that response.
It's like
yeah. So the goal is to
and
untangle
that takes
them.
a lot of work.
It's tough.
Separate. Yeah.
And like you were saying, there's a book, I haven't read it, but it's called The Body Holds the Score. And like, even if you don't remember it, your body does.
Incredible.
And like, when I think of some of these unsafe people, my body goes completely stiff, like something is sitting on me and something is holding me down. And I feel like I'm going to suffocate. Like even speaking on it right now, I feel it. And so when we were doing this EMDR, I was in the basement. I was hearing make yourself small, hide. I was seeing flashes of all the places that I used to hide. And then I felt this overcoming like flush of relief. And I heard myself saying, you created a space that would be safe for her. And I saw my kids running in the yard and they were playing and laughing. And I was hearing like, they can't hurt you. No one can hurt you. And so she stops, pauses, asks me what I saw. I tell her and she goes, well, maybe there's a reality where you ask your inner child to come and play with your kids. And I was like, I would love to do that. Thank you so much. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, I can't wait to play with me. So she starts doing
this is so wild because I feel like we experienced like the same thing. This is all the exact same.
That's spooky.
That's why I talk about it, because like other people's experience with EMDR is very different. It's not a one size fits all thing, but if you do have the kind of mind where you are a very visual person and you are very open to it, it is powerful as fuck.
Yeah.
So she has me go back in to ask myself, and myself gets pissed. So I'm back.
Is scary.
I'm back in the basement and I'm speaking to this black mist. And I'm saying, like, you can come out. You don't have to hide. She
drew it for me, by the way. It was so fucking scary. Like,
I was like, is my iPad over there still?
Oh, no. I put it over.
Oh, I actually have it on my phone. I'll send it to you. But I was like, you can come out. You don't have to hide. And the mist was literally going like this. Almost, that's what my body was feeling. Like when a dog backs off and doesn't want to get in a bathtub. You know what I mean? They like put their legs up and like, that's what my body was doing. And I was trying to talk to it and be like, you're safe now. You can come out. And this thing goes, she stops. And I said, I want to let you know that I am no longer obviously in the EMDR. I'm talking with my therapist. I go, but I feel like the mist is pissed off and it wants me to tell you that you think you know what you're doing. You think that me coming out, you want to say it's safe. Well, the whole reason that it's safe is because I stay here, because I look out, I protect us, I listen for all the sounds so you can have your nice, beautiful little life. you're not going to make me do something that I don't want to do. I'm going to stay right here and I'm going to keep doing my job because my job is to keep us safe. And that's what I'm doing.
Which breaks my heart because your inner child, like your child, like no child should have to do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's what I said. She goes, so little you has been very compliant this whole time. What's changed? And I go, I don't think it's little me. I think it's teenage me.
Yes. That's so funny. I have totally had the child version in teenage me, and teenage me is a bitch. Like,
dude, that's what I'm saying. So funny because she was explaining it to me, and obviously we grew up together. So I was like, that honestly really does sound like teenage you. She was so scary.
Well, I've seen TikToks where people must have gone through the exact same thing because I've seen a few where it's like the adult version talking to like the 4-year-old version and they're like best of buds. And then the teenage version comes in the room and they're both like,
let's blow everything up.
100%. 100%. This was like, I just sent it to you. This is what I was talking to, and it was hiding underneath the stairs.
Wait, this looks like a cover of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it was hiding underneath something that she had to go
because
like talk to it.
I'm like, listen, I physically feel the anger that the mist was feeling. Like I'm just telling you, this is not, this isn't happening. And she's like, okay, hey, you know what? She goes, has anyone tried to like find you during hide and seek, or did you have an imaginary friend? And I said, no, none of that. And you even thinking you're going to trick it out of its place is like making it even more angry. And
I like how you call it, even though you know, even though you know it's you.
But it truly feels like a separate part of me.
Yeah.
And so I keep referring to it as the mist. And she's like, okay, you know what? Maybe today's not the day. It doesn't want to come out. That's totally fine. We'll just go back in, let it know that it can stay there, and then we'll close out the session. I'm like,
I want to go talk to it again.
Okay. So we go back in, and I'm like, hey, Misty girl. So I just want to say thank you so much for all you're doing. You're doing a great job. I am so sorry for trying to force you out before you were ready.
Black looks so good on you, by the way.
That is your color.
I said, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing out here. And when you're ready, when you finally believe that we're safe, you come on out. Until then, you do you. And the mist was like, thank you. And I said, you're welcome. Can I see your face? And it said, not a chance. Nice try. And I went, okay. And I laughed during the EMDR. And that's how we ended it.
Having this banter back and forth with
myself.
That is the wild thing, is like, it's all, you're doing all this in your subconscious, and it's fully, you fully are doing it. Like, you are going into some weird plane within your mind and in the universe and having these, what does yours look like? Like, do you see a full basement or a structure? Because mine all have outlines of things, but there's like a black, almost water-based, it's kind of like the Stranger Things when she goes into that black space.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then it has structure, like outlines of structures.
So a lot of times, depending on what I'm thinking about or what is coming up, I will see full scenes, but it's almost like the edges are like blurred. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like,
it's like a set.
It's like I'm looking back into a memory. It's like if you in TV shows where they show like memories and there's like a cloud around it to show you that it's like from a different time. That's kind of what it's like when I was, and sometimes they're really fast. Sometimes it's just a person's face. Like the one time I was thinking about someone who I won't say, but we could probably all just guess, was in my face and doing this and calling me little girl and telling me, you think you know everything, little girl, and just like going on and on. And I was just sitting there trying to get away from the finger. But yeah, sometimes it's just a face. Sometimes it's the whole basement. Like I can see where the false wall, they were remodeling. So they were going to put up walls. I don't even know if they're finished yet, but when I was in there and in my memory, they're unfinished. So it's just the wood before the drywall. So I see that. I'm behind the stairs and I can see through the stairs because they're also unfinished. And so, yeah, it is like I've memorized everything in my surrounding. And that is what anchors me in those places, because that is what I had to focus on.
You had to focus. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
I had one experience, and this is kind of around the time that I had the brick wall. So people are probably going to read into this. But I was in this like kind of black space, and I was trying really hard to like access the feelings that I was having, the ringing in my ear and the arm thing. And I saw a baby, but it was so far away and I couldn't get to it. And the brick wall kept blocking me from getting to the baby.
Whoa.
That's so sad. I have chills.
Sad. I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Corinne's looking at me very seriously.
I know. I'm like, oh.
Do you think you were the baby, or is it a different situation?
See, it's hard, right? Because I think in my gut, I do think I was the baby, but also because I wasn't able to get past that wall, I have no idea.
Right.
Oh.
That's what's tough is like you're seeing all of these things and you're like, I'm trying to send myself messages, but what the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah. Like I need to get, what am I talking? Like I just need to get through this thing. Just let me get through it.
Obviously Obviously I know the answers. Why aren't I just saying them? Why do I have to be cryptic? Why am I leaving code for myself?
You're misleading yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, goddamn.
Okay. The coolest thing though, and this is just like advocating for EMDR, I had one experience specifically that I really, really worked on. And I had the most incredible experience where I brought in my safe people. Actually, I brought in Corinne, and Corinne like literally beat people up.
Oh my God.
I'm the muscle baby.
She is the muscle.
It.
Didn't I crush someone with my thighs?
No.
Oh,
That's a dream.
that's just what I envision doing. When I come in, when I meditate into yours, you'll know it's me hijacking your thing. When I'm like, popping skulls like watermelons, baby.
Love that.
Next time I do it, I will definitely envision that. Hard not to now. But I had this moment where my therapist was like, do you want to bring in more support? And all of my support people are women. So I brought in all of the women, including my grandmother who died like 4 years ago. And I just remember all of the women building a circle around me, putting like a blocker between me and the people. And it was so beautiful because my grandmother was standing right in front of me and looked at me and said, it's okay. You're okay.
Oh.
And now, I'm going to cry. But like now when I think of that memory, my mind immediately goes to this new like thing that my mind built, this beautiful moment of my grandmother and all of the women in my life who were so supportive. Wow. I didn't think I was
going to make me
emotional. Every time we talk to you guys.
So sorry.
No, but it's beautiful. I'm crying because it is so powerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. EMDR seems like such a scary thing, and it is, because you have to be ready to face the things that have made you feel such intense emotions for so long. And it is a traumatic experience. That's why it caused you to create these coping mechanisms. But at the same time, you get to take your power back. Like you get to decide how that story ends now. Mm-hmm. And that's why I get so excited to do. I was so scared at first, but I'm so much more powerful than the memories. And so, yeah, hardcore advocating for EMDR.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
It is interesting when you were talking about the misty version of you kind of like hiding in the corner, hiding under the stairs. It makes me think, I think maybe we've told you this before, but of my coworker, my old coworker, now you're my only coworker. But I had a previous coworker who she's just like very magical. She's very powerful, very in tune. But she has so much respect for other people and like their stories. And so she's never intrusive on like, she could touch you and read all of your trauma and your emotions and know everything about you. But she only does that if you give her permission to, which I haven't, because I'm not ready to face what she tells me about myself.
She can touch me, please.
But one of the things she does, take me now. Yeah,
I am wide open for you to
But she does something that I feel like must be very similar to people who either are not in EMDR or are like hitting a wall, where she'll go into that world herself through meditation, and she'll find the chipped off pieces of people who are hiding in the dark, and bring them coax them forward so that that person can work through it in therapy.
Can I work with her?
Yes.
Wow.
I've heard this before, and then I never had the thought of like,
I need to ask her to come on this podcast. I haven't yet. Her and I are taking a class right now, actually, about like ancestral healing and calling to your ancestors who are also now like your spirit guides, but then also helping some of your ancestors. I think I heard you
talking about how you were in this class.
Yeah, I've only taken two classes so far, so I don't have any more information to tell you. But it's like every 2 weeks we're doing it, so we'll have more.
Something tells me that the mist would be furious at the attempt. But like conscious me is like, that's amazing. Because this is what I said to my therapist. I go, hey, I don't want to talk shit about me, but me's being kind of a dick.
Me's being the worst right now.
I don't understand. She goes, you're just not ready. And I go, but I am. Mm-hmm. Conscious me is ready. Conscious me wants to. Subconscious me, I don't know what their problem is. Okay. They're like, I remember that's the problem.
It's so wild how your consciousness and subconscious can just completely be at odds with each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, okay. Have you seen the movie Soul? Like the Disney Pixar
I've been
movie?
picturing that the whole time.
We
like
love
when you were saying that she goes into this meditative state, I pictured the sign twirling guy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, he's just meditating on the side. Yeah, totally. But like that's the thing. They go in their ship and they're like wandering through the field of lost, chipped off souls, and many of them are still people who are alive. But like there's this one scene that I remember where they're trying to approach one of those things, and it is this like dark, shadowy, misty monster where it's like, blah, 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 like don't come near me, and they have to kind of like lasso it and coax it and capture it. Mm-hmm. Essentially, like it might not go willingly ever.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wonder too, because everything that the mist was saying and doing and what I felt when I was interacting with it was everything that I felt when I was probably 13 and my parents were in their like first trial separation and forcing me to go to therapy. And the therapist was not listening to me. And I did not feel like they cared. I did not feel like they knew what was best for me. I didn't feel like I could be 100% forthcoming because adults at that point in time were not safe for me to share anything with. And so that is where that part of me still believes that is that there are people who just are not safe. And it's like, you can try and convince me all you want, but I'm gonna be here doing my job, what I've done forever, keeping us safe.
Yeah.
But
there's gonna be some skepticism. Yeah.
Wild.
This is not EMDR related, but I'm gonna tell you this, which Sabrina's now heard like 3 times.
Oh my God, it happened so incredible.
It happened to me very recently. Last time you and I and Sabrina and all of us did a crossover.
We were all here.
I said I, meaning like you are me and us. I am you. And we're just one.
And I am Sam.
But then I was like, I should probably specify. Okay. But last time we did an official crossover, I told you guys about in middle school when I was being bullied in just like the most horrific way. And I started kind of crying as I was describing it to you guys. And it was like obviously very raw and painful and something I clearly never dealt with and still haven't. But it was like a comfortable thing that I just put aside and was like, I'm fine not really remembering what happened. But clearly my body remembers because I cry when I talk about it. But I don't have too many memories of it. Anyway, during that period of time, so when I was like 12 and 13, for 2 years straight, there would be this woman who would come out of the corner of my room it's like my closet door and a mirror. And she would come and she'd have like long, dark hair, and she was taller than I was, and she'd wear like long, flowy, dark clothing, and she looked so freaking scary. I could never see her face. It was like kind of like misty, but I knew she was probably, I would have pegged her as being like somewhere between like 30 and 45. Like that's kind of the general age that I thought this woman was. And she, despite her scary appearance and where she came out of, she would come over and she would just like so softly kind of stroke my hair and make me feel calm. And I would feel calm. I would stop crying and I would go to sleep. And she probably came out of this corner. I don't know. It was on and off for 2 years. So maybe I might have seen her like 12 times.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
How bad was your waking experience with your bullies that this terrifying woman in the corner
was
felt
soothing?
Was soothing. You're like, I'll let you touch me.
Well, she wasn't telling me to kill myself, so she was in my safe space.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, over Easter a few weeks ago, I'm at my childhood home that I go to, every couple months, and I change. So like my bedroom faces the like public street. And so when I change in my bedroom, I usually don't like to turn off the lights. And I'm not that shy, as you guys.
Yeah, I was going to say
before we even
in front of a camera, it's totally fine. Yeah, but in front of a window.
In front of a window, I'm trying to like maintain my parents' reputation of not having like being the naked neighbor's
daughter.
Yeah. So I go into the corner and I change, and over Easter, as I'm changing, I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and I go, "Holy shit, it's me."
Oh,
and it's not me right now, but it's about to be.
Isn't
like
that-
I am becoming her. Like I have my long dark hair. I'm always wearing flowy clothing, and I caught the glimpse, and I was like, "It's me!" And I'm standing in the exact corner.
I have like full body chills.
So I don't know when I enter this space and finally face what happened, but
what I just
it's coming.
Realize, because we've talked about this a couple times. What if, two, because I think we both are trying to tap more into our abilities and, astral plane work.
Yeah.
One, I'm like, Corinne, you're going to master it and you're going to be able to go back and visit you're going to be a time traveler.
Yeah.
Or two,
maybe.
What if like in a couple years you do EMDR or something, and when you are revisiting these memories, you are actually going back?
Oh, I have chills.
God,
everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
because
shook.
I mean, this happened when I was 12. We're 29 now. So for up until 2 weeks ago, I always thought this was a spirit guide, or like it was always a ghost. It was separate from me, just some scary looking like entity coming to comfort me. And it just happened to be a scary looking figure. I always thought of it as a ghost.
Yeah.
Until I realized it's actually future me within the next like 10 years.
That just made me like emotional. Like straight up tears filled my eyes. I'm like, oh my God.
Especially thinking about time not being linear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Oh,
it's like your two worlds just like collided in a way. And now like I think your powers are just gonna be like infinitely stronger because of you because you knowing it.
Yeah.
It's a much kinder version than bent neck lady from The Haunting of
But even
Hill
that
House.
I mean you were
Sierra
a bit creepy
has not
looking.
watched The Haunting of Hill House.
I know.
You haven't?
I know.
It's a problem. It is a problem.
So
I'm kind of a pussy, so like I can't watch scary things alone. And my fiance is a bigger pussy, so he refuses to watch scary things with me. So then I'm like, who do I can't do this alone. And
I will rewatch it with you.
Well, let's do it. We should
watch it during the day in your office together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll record ourselves because I'm fun to watch scary movies because the whole time I'm like watching like this, hands covering pillows.
You read scary things.
I love.
If this was a book,
I would read the fuck out of it.
Truly. So
honestly,
it is a book.
Wait, it is a book.
Well, we're down.
Read the book, then watch the show together.
Yeah,
because then the show will be less scary.
Yeah, it's a little bit better for me. I think it's just like when music is involved and there's like boom boom.
I will say the book is very different than the show.
Okay.
But yeah.
I will watch it. I swear I will because everybody keeps talking about it and I'm like, I know.
It is so good. It's so horribly good.
It is.
Yeah.
It was. And it's not really like as much of a jump scare. Like there's definitely some audio occasionally, but it doesn't rely on that. A lot of the scary things that are unveiled, it's just more of like a mind fuck where you're like.
But I will say the jump scares are jump scares.
They're there. Yeah. Okay.
They are there.
Listen to it just, low audio. That's
that's what I might have to do.
Kind of make yourself go cross-eyed when you know something's about to come so the screen's blurry.
TikTok, I don't know, you're probably on there because I feel like you guys are on creepy TikTok. So, do you ever see those people that are making like, what is it called where you see like your other form of you or whatever? And I'll have
Doppelganger?
to show you. Yes, Doppelganger, like creepy TikTok. So it'll be like someone washing dishes and then there's like a thing that comes on the TV that's like, if you see someone who looks close to you, like I'm getting chills talking about it. They creep me out every time I see them, and I never like them because I'm like, why are these still popping up? Because I have to watch them because I'm curious, but now I can't sleep tonight. So anyways, it'll be like that. And then the girl will turn around from washing the dishes, and peeking out of her closet is like her face smiling in this really creepy way.
It's so creepy.
Dude,
it's so scary
talking about it.
I hate the ones with the mirrors.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, so Greg and Dana Newkirk have this scrying mirror.
Basically, they're these paranormal artifact caretakers and enthusiasts, and we've been obsessed with them for years and stalk everything that they have at their museum.
But so they have this mirror that people look into it, and a lot of people see themselves do different weird creepy things.
Yeah,
like people see like their face melt, or like their reflection smile at them.
Or another version of them will just like peek out smiling from behind them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had something like that happen, but I was on mushrooms. I don't know if that's exactly the same. I don't know. But I will tell you that's why I could never look at that, because that was such a scary
do ayahuasca, it's, they see a whole
spiritual experience.
Yeah, it was.
See, that happened to me when I had sleep paralysis one time. I was on FaceTime and I saw myself on the camera like,
I hate that.
Yeah.
It's so creepy. Especially because when it happens, it's not like a hi Jerry or hi, like I love you, I'm me.
No.
It's creepy.
Yes. So creepy.
It's like can't control the neck moving in a really distorted way.
Yes.
Smiling, getting really, really close to the camera. I remember waking up and my computer was closed and I was FaceTiming Shane. And so I was like, when did we hang up? And he goes, you rolled over, woke up, and just closed it. And I was like, what the fuck? Don't remember that. Don't remember that.
I was so scared that you were absolutely not.
I don't know. Maybe I thought I was like going to get out of the computer. And so I was like, you're trapped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
well, you don't want to be trapped in the computer or in a reflection. Like that's the thing that's so creepy too, is I think it's a part of feng shui, but I think it's also just a part of anyone who is, I guess, like in tune with the paranormal, that you're not supposed to have mirrors and like reflections looking at each other.
Yeah.
It can trap spirits or you. It can act as a portal. And also, if you're ever trying to banish something from your home, it can give them a place to hide. Like they can hide within this sort of like mirror realm.
No, I'm so scared because I'm about to move into a new house, and like I've felt nothing but good things in that house, and it is a newly built house. So there was nobody that lived there before the people that are selling it to us. So like I feel like there's not going to be any kind of someone died here or whatever. But now that shit,
but you could take them with you.
No, don't do this to me. No,
don't put that out there.
I got to go look at all the mirrors and be like, what's the mirror situation in this house?
I stayed at a hotel once that had a mirror like in front of the bed, so when you were like if you were sitting in the bed you could see yourself. And it was the one that Corinne, you've heard this, but I was alone in the hotel room. It was like midnight and the hotel phone kept ringing, and anytime I would pick up it would just be like dead, like static, and then it would go to dial tone, and it happened multiple times. And I was like, is someone like messing with me? So I called the front desk and I was like, hey, my phone keeps ringing. And they looked at the record and they were like, no one's called your line. And so I immediately was so freaked out by the mirror. I was just like, I don't want to see anything. I covered it.
Yeah.
And nothing else happened, but it was terrifying.
That reminds me of room 1408. We've only just begun.
Oh, no, you have to stop.
Have you ever seen that movie?
No,
room 1408? No. That's what it reminds me of. You're not supposed to stay in this room because you get trapped in it and then you end up going crazy and you take your own life. And like while you're in there, the phone rings, you see things, this song plays over and over again, then it sounds like it's melting and you can't get out. You can't get out of it. Oh my gosh. It is horrifying. So anytime I hear
very yellow wallpaper.
I was just thinking that.
Yes.
Story.
Yes. Anytime I hear the Carpenters, we've only just begun. I'm like,
is that the song?
Yes.
I do. I know a little bit. You know, it's funny. You guys say you always cry whenever you talk to us, and so do I. But just because I'm scared, like my eyes were just like filled with tears this entire time because I'm so scared.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, the Carpenters are like equal parts. When I hear them, I get happy because like my mom used to listen to them, and it's like a nostalgia, but also they've been featured in so many like creepy, scary things. And I'm like, why would you do that?
They give off scary record player vibes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like a good old gramophone scene where, I mean, I guess they came far after the gramophone, but that's like what I picture in the super scary, all those scenes. Okay. So music wise for your wedding, have you put
nice transition.
What a transition.
I love that this was supposed to be like the Bachelorette episode crossover thing. And it's just,
and we're just like darkness.
Actually, I did go to a Bachelorette in Hawaii and we were at breakfast and it was like the most like this is 30 Bachelorette. We drank tea. Like there was very little drinking, but we were at breakfast one morning all talking about our childhood traumas. And I like I'm listening to a book called Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. And
I heard that. It's so good.
It is. I tried to take notes and then I had to stop because I was like, I'm just rewriting the entire book.
Yes. The whole
everything
book is good.
Yeah. And then we just spent like an hour talking about that. And now everyone else is listening to it. And we've just been texting about it since.
I love that.
Book club.
Bachelorette book club.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite thing, honestly.
I actually had a psychic at my bachelorette party.
Yeah.
You did?
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Has anything come true from what people were told
Well,
there?
I'm trying to think.
That was such a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I have it all still on my phone. We recorded her and then I broke it down into clips of who she spoke to and stuff. And so one of the things that she said to me was, are things like missing, out of place? Like, are you noticing stuff in your house, like just randomly? And at that point in time, like my dryer door was opening a lot, like just out of nowhere. And it wasn't like a frequent thing that happened. It wasn't like the dryer was broken. I remember coming home one night and a book had come off of the bookshelf and the way it was sitting on the floor, like it didn't make sense for it to fall. And again, like nothing else was disturbed. There was just several things that had happened. And she's like, there is a man and he's very, very connected to you. He's passed. And she brought up him being indigenous. And I was like, that's my grandpa. Mm-hmm. And she's like, he knows that this is a very big moment for you. He knows this is a very exciting thing that's happening. And he just wants you to know that he's here. And so he's just like kind of playing little pranks on you. And that was very, very common for him. He was a big jokester. Like we never met him. He passed before we were born.
Yeah. Our parents were like teenagers when it happened.
But I am named after him.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard a lot. I always heard from our grandma, like, your grandpa Jerry would have loved you. Like, you guys are kindred spirits. You're so, so similar. So it was just really special that, like, I had never met him before, but who played pranks a lot in his living life was kind of interacting with me in that way in his afterlife. Past life.
His past life.
His next one.
Maybe he showed up as his past life.
Yeah, maybe.
That's beautiful. Well, and now I feel like, since he was clearly around so much at that time of like the transition into a new part of your life where you were about to get married and start a family and all that sort of stuff. I feel like that's just a sign that whenever anything feels heavy and hard and things are changing, you can just like, he's probably still there, just ready to lighten the mood.
Yes. Ready to lighten the mood. Yes.
You just reminded me of a ghosty story that I want to tell you now, because you saying like all of these new things happening and all that. My fiance, God love him so much, but he is a bit of a skeptic. He says, but he's not like we
think he's psychic himself.
He honestly, he predicted I was pregnant before I think it was probably 3 or 4 days before I found out that I was pregnant.
We recorded the Valentine's episode
and
with them.
I drank like 2 White Claws because again, I had been trying for 9 months and it had happened once, but then I had a miscarriage. And so we had kind of given up trying. Like we were just kind of like, whatever, it's not going to happen for us and that's fine. And so I was drinking White Claws. And when we got home, I was like, maybe I'll have another one. I don't know. And he's like, I don't think you should drink. And I was like, why? And he goes, because you're pregnant.
He said that in the basement.
Yes.
You went to go to the bathroom and he was like, Ciara, you're pregnant. I don't think you should be drinking.
And I was like, what are you talking about? Like that, don't say that. Cause this was not something he would have said lightly because
the severity of what had just
happened.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
right. Yeah.
He knew how bad we both wanted it. So I was like, don't say that to me right now. But also I kind of believe you.
I remember he was,
oh my gosh,
he was kind of being a skeptic about like woo-woo shit. I don't know if we were talking about horoscopes or what we were talking about.
Yeah, I think we were. Yeah.
Something about horoscopes, psychics, tarot. And he was very, very skeptical, which Ciara and I are like, don't you dare, because these are our people. Don't make them mad at us. And
also this is what we believe in.
Yeah.
So like, leave us alone.
Well, then he said the comment about her being pregnant. And I said, if she's pregnant, you have to get on here and apologize.
Because you're psychic.
Did he?
Yeah. Yes. Because then he realized.
I cut out everything he said.
Yeah, he didn't publicly, but he apologized to us because now I think he's really leaning into it. And he still will kind of be like, no, I'm not, but he is. So this is what happened. So and his mom is very connected. Like he's told us, I know my mom is like kind of either psychic or she's got some kind of like, she's very, all of these things that'll happen with like any kind of paranormal, anything happens to her. And they've all witnessed it happen. So anyways, we were sitting, we had just gone out to eat and we had margaritas and tacos. So like everybody's feeling good. And his parents are at our house and we're just talking about like, his mom was asking about Easter plans. And she's like, oh, can I get our kids' Easter baskets back? Because she had made them like these little, cutout carrot like things with their names on them attached to their Easter baskets, like very Etsy style. And she's like, I want them for to connect to their next Easter baskets. And we're like, yeah, let me see if I can find them. I said, I don't know if I can find Sawyer's. I was positive that I saw my dogs chew it up because it was like wood. So they were obsessed with trying to get them. And I swear to God, I remember seeing it like broken and crumbled on the floor and throwing it away and being like, oh, damn, that was really cute. And now it's gone, whatever. I found my sons immediately. Corey's like, I don't think we have Sawyer's. I can't find it anywhere. And we've looked for like the past 3 months, whatever. So she's about to leave and she goes to stand up, and underneath her on the couch is the name tag. Fully like just sitting right there. She sat down. She's like, when I sat down, it wasn't there. And we all were like, normally my house is messy. It had just been cleaned. So like it wasn't like we couldn't see it. But she goes, is this it? And we're all like, what the fuck? And then she goes, this is your grandma. She's telling you that she's here and that she sees Sawyer and she's proud of you. And I started bawling. Corey is bawling like because his grandma had just passed away like a couple years before I met him. And he goes, that's so weird because a couple nights ago I had a dream that was a dream, but then he came downstairs and then all of a sudden it was like it wasn't a dream. It was almost like a memory. And he said, my grandma was standing in this house by our Christmas tree. And I walked over and she took my hands and she was like, I'm so proud of you and everything you've done. And she kissed him on the cheek. And he was like, I'm just sad that we're moving out of this house because this is the last place where I saw my grandma. Like, it wasn't like he's saying like, he saw her, like she was there visiting him. And yeah, it was just crazy that reminded me of.
That is so beautiful. And I also just don't understand how he could still be a skeptic.
He's not. That's what I think he says it because he knows it pisses me off.
He's just playing hard to get.
He is playing hard to get because I'm like, no. He cried so hard that night. I was like, I'm really loving this. I love when men cry. So he was like, I'm sorry, I'm crying like this. And I was like, no, come here. Onto mommy's shoulders. Come on. I love it. So yeah, it was really good. But it was just a beautiful, like, oh my God, her so telling us that she sees us and that it's like, you're doing well.
But like the name tag, like it makes me wonder what happened to it. Like, is this a reproduction of what you remembered being chewed up? Or Like, was there some sort of like glitch in the matrix? Like, how
did she grab it from a different time and brought it to
and like
now?
set it down?
Yeah.
Because how
another
would
you who's more willing to just like forget about it and not look for it. She's like, I'll take it from this timeline and drop it into
which honestly could have been any of them.
Could really probably all of all the other ones.
Probably very easy to take it from any of them.
Oh my gosh, but it was so weird. I was just like, how in what world would that have happened like that? Because again, they all looked at the couch before they sat down, and it wasn't like hidden in a crack. It was like plainly under her butt on the couch cushion.
That is
bizarre.
Yeah. I love stories.
Me
like that.
too.
Yes.
That is so great.
I was going to say, you reminded me of my sister's story. It's not, again, we're just completely going away from weddings, but I told you guys my sister
this is ghosty stuff.
Pregnant.
Yeah.
And I remember when she told me she was pregnant, which we've mentioned to you that it's not it wasn't planned, and it's not been a smooth road.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of fear in the beginning and a lot of stress. And she kept saying, Jerry, I keep seeing 2 everywhere. And I said, Grandma died on February 22nd. And she just kind of looked at me. And we, from the very first moment she said she was pregnant, we were like, it's a girl. And me and my other sister, there's 3 of us, we all have boys. There's 3 boys, no girls. And we're like, Randy, you're having a girl.
I said that too. Like right off the bat, I was like, it's a girl.
You're having a girl. And it feels like Grandma's telling you, like, you're going to have a girl and she's going to be a bad bitch. Because we talk about our grandma being like this really powerful, strong, feminist, just like this bad bitch.
Yeah.
And so one day I was driving to work and I had this thought pop into my head. Again, we don't know the gender of the baby, the sex of the baby. And I hear Dove as in my head. Like, I wonder if Randy would like the name Dove for a baby. And so I work, whatever, go home. She watches my kids. And I said, let's name your baby right now. Let's name it. And she's like, Jerry, we don't even know what it is. And I was like, I don't care. We're going to name your baby.
It's a girl. We know.
Yeah. And I said, do you have a list of names? And she said, yes. So she pulls them up and she's like, I don't know if you're going to think this is weird. Dove. And I was like, shut the fuck up. I literally just thought of this name on the way to work.
And obviously not a very common name.
No.
Right.
And so I freak out. We're like, all right, we'll entertain other names, because we were really struggling to find a middle name. And then I don't know if it was that night or the next night. She's driving to work. She's also a waitress. So she's on her way to her restaurant job, and a dove is sitting on her car.
And it won't leave. She's
on the
driving.
windshield, like right at where the windshield wipers are, sitting there as she's driving. It rides the entire way with her.
What?
The whole way. She's took a Snapchat video and she's just cracking up laughing because this dove will not get off of her car.
Oh my god! Holy crap! If there's ever like that is a hard sign,
right? It's like
so I'm
obvious.
like,
wow,
it has to be a girl.
Yeah.
Has to. And so we just
had her
gender.
Dove.
We just had her gender reveal on Saturday, and little pink balloons came out.
Isn't that wild? I love that she named herself.
Yes. She's like, I've heard
I picked my name.
Babies doing that, and I love it so much.
Dove Monroe is her name. Dove
Monroe. Oh my God.
That makes me think the grandma
really
is also with Dove and is like, oh, I'll help you in the preparation for
100%.
for moving forward.
Which reminds me, remember when we were in Salem and I got a reading? So I got a reading. We both got readings, but this woman told me that she saw my grandmother with a little girl on her lap. And she said, she's with your daughter and she's hanging out with her until it's time for her to be in your life.
Oh my God. I have chills. I love it. Well, that's kind of what we thought about.
She's having a girl first.
Apparently.
That's what we know. No gender reveal needed. Here.
Whenever you're ready.
Whatever comes to mind,
I'll let you know.
That is wild.
Wow. Okay, but before that, I don't know. Before we choose my child's name.
Before you have a baby. I was trying to
first comes marriage, then comes baby.
And smooth transition.
Kissing.
as far as that old rhyme goes.
Not for me, though. Not for me.
Screw tradition.
Yeah.
Actually, you're probably going to want to screw tradition after we tell you.
Yeah.
We went the morbid route.
I can't wait.
Heck yeah.
What's the darkness behind marriage?
And there's a lot. It's like, it's fucked up. And I will say there's a bit of a trigger warning because there's assault, kidnapping, violence, and a lot of sexism involved in these facts.
That's why I love that I'm not having a very traditional wedding. And if anybody asks why, I'll be like, do you even fucking know about traditions? Okay.
100%.
Like,
You can battle this conversation. You'd be like, do you want to know?
Yes,
let me tell you.
With my couples all the time, they're like, so we're going to do this at this time and in this way. And I'm like, do you really want to do that? Are you sure you want to do that?
Like, you don't have to. You know why?
I mean, a lot of traditions have to do with back in the day, men would kidnap women and marry them in secrecy and get them pregnant and basically keep them hidden away so their dads couldn't come get them or their families couldn't come get them. And then once they were married or once the woman was pregnant, they'd bring them back into society and they'd be like, look, we're married already. Now I need your dowry and you have to pay me. Dad.
Oh my God, it was like stealing, but in a really gross way. Like, holy
in a really gross way.
Blackmail.
Yeah. Like, that is terrible.
And that's also where the best man comes from, because the guy who would steal the woman needed like security or like a bodyguard, and he would have a friend be the bodyguard in case the family came after their daughter. The friend would be there as the muscle.
Ew. My muscle is Corey's twin brother.
So perfect.
Identical twin.
Isn't
that's
so
a good plan.
That is a good plan.
Oh, well, that is
over
it.
Here.
Yeah.
No, I'm over here.
Okay, but it's just so fucked up because like for the male side of things back in the day, it was like the two men are teaming up to kidnap a woman and ensure that she doesn't escape. But the reason like bridesmaids traditionally existed, they would wear all white so that if on their path to actually get married, so like not the kidnapped version of married, but well, probably still a little bit, like whatever deal was struck by the parents to you owe this amount and here's my daughter.
Yeah.
The daughter would travel to the man. And on their travels, there was oftentimes more kidnappings, a lot of assault and thievery and all of that sort of activity.
And there was fear of spiritual intervention in a way. Like there was a lot of superstition around like dark spirits trying to curse brides.
Yeah, as they traversed through the woods. So the bride would bring all of her best girlfriends as bridesmaids. They would all wear white wedding gowns. To try to trick the spirits and trick the people.
To confuse people.
So it's like the women are taking one for the team, being like, well, maybe I'll be possessed or I'll be captured, but you'll be safe.
But you'll be fine.
And then the men on the other side are like, I'll help ensure no one escapes us.
Hey, I'll tell you what. That's a good friend.
Yeah,
if your
seriously.
friend is a down ass lady and they're like, I'll wear the same dress, and if I get possessed, I get possessed. It's all for you.
Yeah, but nowadays it's like, don't wear white. It's the bride. The bride is the only one getting possessed.
Yeah, not anymore.
White is so funny because it's a symbolism of virginity and purity.
Yeah, purity, right?
Yeah.
Oh my. Well,
Which,
that's
in that case, no one should be wearing white.
I surely won't be.
Ivory.
It's a cream.
Yeah. There's so many fucked up things. I
like how we were like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we do a crossover because Corinne and Ciara are getting married and we can do it about marriage? And we're like
a Bachelorette, fun.
And we're like, great, let's put together this episode. And it's all just like darkness and
terrible. To be fair, with wedding planning, it's also been kind of terrible and dark things.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, I don't understand how people enjoy wedding planning.
I hate it. I got a wedding planner
awful.
And God bless her. She's amazing because she's like, this is fun for me. I love this stuff. And I'm like, this is my actual nightmare. Like there is nothing that I want to do less than
God
plan
it's a job for someone else.
Yes. I hate every moment of it.
Honestly, I feel like telling the dark side of all of the traditions takes the pressure off of having
the traditions
do them present day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't need the perfect day, because the perfect day back in the day was like, just don't get kidnapped.
Definitely not great. Yeah. The perfect
Saturdays were believed to be the worst day to get married. It was supposed to be Wednesday was the day that was supposed to be the best day to get married.
Hump day.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Wow. I didn't think of it like that.
I'm getting married on a Saturday though, so I guess I'm cursed.
Same.
We're all cursed, I guess.
I love that they said Wednesday, and I thought, oh, because of alliteration, Wedding Wednesday, that makes sense. And you go fucking got it.
Day.
Maybe both. It has double meaning.
Double entendre. I love that.
Also, that's just to say, this doesn't mean that following traditions is not great, because you can, and they don't. Oh, they now. Oh my gosh, words. Now they don't mean all of these things. So
and people like, it's kind of an a la carte thing now, where you get to pick and choose. But or at least that's how I'm treating my wedding.
Yeah.
Yep. Same.
A little bit of this and absolutely none of that.
Yep. Are there any traditions? Are you doing any traditional things for your wedding?
Well, Brian is Jewish, so we're doing the breaking of the glass during the ceremony.
Yes.
Which I'm excited about, because I've been to Jewish weddings and they are so much fun.
They look like so much fun.
Yeah, we're not like bringing it into the reception. It's just going to be part of the ceremony. But like, there's no rabbi that, like, my brother's officiating.
So I love that.
Yeah, we have a friend officiating.
The only thing we're doing, and that's tradition.
You're not wearing a veil.
Oh, I'm not wearing a veil. Reason being is in Mean Girls when Katie Heron dresses up as like the dead bride.
Yes.
So I dressed up as Katie Heron dressing up as the dead bride.
Yeah.
And so when I was like 3 years ago for Halloween, and
we'll send you a picture. It's so good.
Yeah. When I was at the wedding store with my mom, we were trying on all these veils, and both her and I were like, we can't unsee me dressed as Katie Heron, dressed as the dead bride. So we're like, we just don't even need the veil.
See, but I have a veil, but just for the back. It's not going to go.
You never
over.
dressed up as a dead bride.
Yeah, it's not going to. It's just going to be flowy.
The veils used to be truly like, their intention was to hide what the bride looked like, because a lot of marriages were arranged, and the man and woman wouldn't see each other until the wedding.
Ew.
And so they would cover the appearance of the woman so that the man didn't know what the woman looked like, what his bride would look like, until after they were married.
Which is why when people tell me that they don't want to do a first look, I'm like, do you understand what the tradition is of seeing you? The first time they see you is at the altar. It's so they couldn't run.
Well, that's what Corey's going to do.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do a first look. He wants to do, I want to see you walking down as my first time.
That's where it comes in, as saying like, you can do something traditional without it being.
But we aren't going to have the veil over my face.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He knows what you look like.
Yeah, he's been there, done that. You know what
I mean? Yeah. Like if someone genuinely is like, I want to see you coming down the aisle, then beautiful.
Yeah.
But if someone's like, tradition says I can't see you, that to me is two different things.
Yeah.
Like do it because you want to, not because tradition tells you to.
Because the tradition's weird.
Yeah.
Tradition is so weird.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like it's a hard thing. I don't know what the future generations will experience, but I feel like our generation is the one that's kind of really pushing back against tradition. And so I think weddings can be a weird thing where like grandparents and other people are pretty firm on what they think your day will look like. I'm very lucky in that I haven't had all that much drama, but from seeing other people wedding plan, I've seen a lot of people who have had to bring traditions back in that they really didn't want, that are super antiquated and mean nothing to them as a couple, because someone else is just like so freaked out that this tradition that they don't even understand the background of isn't going to happen.
Yeah. See, I haven't had anybody really giving like pushback or too much like opinion about it, but I have had people tell me one time like, oh, it's your wedding, do it however you want. There's no right or wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then within like the next week, they're like, you're not going to have this? you're not going to do it this? And I was like, wait, you just told me that there was no right or wrong. So when I say I'm not doing this, you're like, whoa, I didn't think you were going to do it.
Like do whatever you want, but also do what I want. And know what I want without me telling you what I want.
It's like, well, I'm not on Pinterest, so I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't like.
The biggest pushback I got was not getting married in a church, and it's because I was raised Catholic.
Oh, I'm definitely not.
And I was like, we're not getting married in a church because Shane's not Catholic.
Yeah,
and I don't feel comfortable. Everything that they stand for, I don't stand for. Yeah. So I don't want to do that because that just seems performative, and I don't want my wedding to be performative.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh, hi.
Oh, you're such a oh my goodness.
Little sweetie. The one thing I don't think do we know what the tradition of wedding bells even is? Maybe it's just a church thing.
Well, Ciara and I did an episode on wedding traditions one time, and
we dressed up in wedding dresses, by the way, and I was 9 months pregnant. Like, I need to watch about to give birth, and I wore your old.
No, you wore my vow renewal dress.
Yeah, and I was like, we couldn't zip it up the back, so it's just fully open back with my big belly.
Yeah,
it's fun.
That's amazing.
We learned that like the whole cans on the back of like a car was meant to scare evil spirits away.
The clang, 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 clang.
But it used to be like a parade. They would take like pots and pans and make the sound
really loud. That I would love to do. If you followed the car just banging pots and pans after a wedding, that sounds fun.
That would be great.
Well, I asked her, I was like, when did it transition to cans? And when were they like collecting empty cans? Were they full cans? And was it soup? Was it
beans?
I would love as they're driving off, the bean can is like spilling out,
exploding. I said I was picturing like full cans of soda or like beer, and you were like, I was picturing beans and like,
I was kind of picturing beans too.
I was too. When I think cans, I think beans.
We're making pot pie.
Oh, I'm thinking like refried beans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I just think like like those cans, I mean, they're like the cheapest and most accessible to everyone. So that probably makes sense. It was just kind of like whatever you already have, you repurpose.
Yeah.
And use behind you.
To scare the spirits.
To scare the spirits.
Don't you come near me, I've got beans.
Yes, I've got beans. So the wedding that I am having is
your wedding.
My wedding it feels so possessive to be like my wedding. But
it is yours.
The wedding event that I will be hosting. Is, I don't want anyone to look at me. I want to zip line in and everyone close their eyes. Like,
did I not say the same thing?
That would be so cool if you zip lined in.
I know. There's trees. I probably could.
You
can do anything you want if you have enough money.
Yeah,
that'd be sick.
Doesn't that happen in like Spy Kids?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes, I think so. Wait, you said your brother's marrying you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He needs to get one of those things. He needs to get one of those like smoke cloud things. Marrying, as in you and your brother are getting married. I just heard it.
I was like, no one else? Okay, just me.
I got it. Your brother is officiating your marriage. Okay. Yeah. He just needs to get one of those smoke cloud things like magicians use, throw it on the ground, and then you appear.
That would be sick.
Oh my God, I'm going to
you're dressed like the dead bride, Katie Heron.
I love that.
Oh, I love my gosh.
Well, I do wonder. So like the whole day will be outside. So hopefully there's good weather, but every event is outdoors. But I do wonder if there's going to be any spirit activity because I've been collecting a lot of antiques to include in the wedding day. So like old candlesticks and picture frames. And I've collected a bunch of antique bells to have people ring as we after we, they're married, whatever, and walk back down the aisle. So we've got a ton of antique bells because I want to keep them as like decor. And that's our version of wedding china or whatever, is these little bells that don't take up a ton of space, but they've been collected from all over New England, which is such a haunted freaking place.
Oh my God.
So I am curious what attachments might come from some of the items.
That's fun.
That smells like Wake the Dead.
And they get to come party too.
Invite them. Have you seen Anastasia?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It'll be like when all the ghosts like come down. When she's
and they're all dancing in ball gowns.
All of the ancestors, I guess, got an invite.
Wow.
Fun.
That is fun.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. The whole waking the dead.
So there's this thing.
Uh-oh. What else do you have to teach us?
There's a thing called ghost weddings, and I don't understand it really, but basically, okay, it's in France, China, and a bunch of other places. Posthumous weddings are legal. So there are certain like cultures, if you die single, they would perform a wedding ceremony so that you would find a companion in the afterlife. So I think that means like you died, but they perform a wedding ceremony with someone who's still living. And then when they die, you have
I don't like someone's waiting for you. I don't know.
Or
I don't understand
have two dead people and they're like, you two together.
Oh, maybe.
Matchmakers from this side.
But then they would have to leave someone single dead until someone else dies.
Right.
Dead,
so I don't necessarily understand it. And then also it's so common that in 2013, 4 men in China were arrested because they were grave robbing and trying to sell bodies so that people could perform these ghost weddings.
No. Oh my, in 2013?
They were exhuming bodies?
Oh no.
Yeah.
To marry
and
them off.
Someone else also murdered 2 women in order to do the ghost weddings.
What? Jeez.
This is recent. Yeah.
They could have had a live wedding.
Yeah,
right?
You robbed them of that opportunity.
Oh my God.
It's these weird, wacky,
don't
horrific
worry.
traditions.
We've got someone for you. You are going to have to meet them in the afterlife.
The only bad thing.
What?
Yeah, I don't really understand it.
What about the whole till death do us part thing? Till dead do you dead, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you come together?
And it's also like, why are you so worried about people that aren't here anymore? Like, mind your living business.
We mind our own business, okay?
Yeah. The story. Mind your business.
My God.
Dang.
That is wild.
Yeah. It reminds me of, what's that Tim Burton movie?
Corpse Bride?
Corpse Bride.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like Frankenweenie.
You know, Frankenweenie. Which was a horrible movie.
I never saw it.
I didn't either.
I don't think
my
I
kid
saw
just
more
asked
than
to
15
watch it the
minutes
other
of
day. Yeah. I was going to go out to a brewery with my dad and Ollie was like having a fit and he was like, "Can I come?" And I said, "No, baby, it's just for adults." And he goes, "They've got water there." And I'm like, "You are right, they do. But would you like to sit in my bed and watch Frankenweenie?" And he's like, "All right, deal."
You got me.
Oh, they've got water there.
So cute.
That's so cute.
Oh,
he's a good little problem solver.
But they
it's
also
very
have
frustrating.
Beer, and I want to drink that.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Start them young.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read a couple more, and then Corinne has like the really.
I just have a couple dark current facts,
murderous facts.
I was like, oh no!
Okay.
I thought that was the worst one.
I mean, that is really messed up in just a different way.
Yeah.
All right, hit me with it.
Okay. Legend says single women will dream of their future husbands if they sleep with a slice of groom's cake under their pillows.
What?
What is that?
I don't know if it's like a cake from another wedding or if it's a specific type of cake.
I don't know.
Groom's cake?
Yeah.
But not the
It's
bride's?
just this like obsession of women only seeking men.
Well, you know that women are nothing if they don't also have a man by their side.
Right?
Cake under
We
their
are
pillow.
useless without men.
I need two property. I'm so
I need
sad.
2 things in my life. I need my cake and my man. And that's it.
But my cake will bring me my man.
My cake will bring me my man.
A little
I've
extra
been saying
sugar.
that.
My cake brings the men to the yard.
In my bed.
Okay, honeymoons came from the whole kidnapping thing, basically hiding the bride away until the wedding was totally done and they couldn't escape.
So I'm guessing they didn't always go to Mexico.
No, it wasn't a beautiful, vacation on the tropical,
It was the
pina coladas,
the shack in the woods.
Yeah,
deep in the woods,
or in the basement. I don't know.
That's basically how I spent my honeymoon. So,
whoa, stuttering. Where did you go?
We went to the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina and almost died on our way there. We got stuck in Kentucky, but then we did, in fact, make it.
But you weren't kidnapped. You chose to go there.
No, I did. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I thought there was going to be a close call there when we were stuck in Kentucky, and I didn't know what was going to happen. But yeah, I did voluntarily go along for the ride. Also, I just realized that Mosby has yum yum sauce on his nose.
Oh yeah, he got that right up close to my face, and I was like, "What's happening on your face, buddy?"
What is yum yum sauce?
Have you ever been to hibachi?
You ever had hibachi? Yeah. It's the pink sauce.
It's the like light orangish sauce. They call it yum yum sauce. There's what's the other one? Ginger.
Yeah, or something.
It's like some kind of steak sauce. Yeah. And then the other one is yum yum sauce.
So did Mosby just come here from hibachi?
No. We had hibachi last night, and Forrest is in his destructive. Well, he stays in his sauce era, but he's in his I'm gonna cause and effect, throw things, see what happens. And so he loves sauce, and I'm like, you want to try some yum yum sauce? And he said no, and he threw it on the ground. And then Mosby and Birdie were like, we do.
That's ours.
I love some yum yum sauce.
I would love some.
He went face first right into it.
Mm-hmm.
So cute.
So cute.
Okay, I do have a question about traditions. Do you have anything on why they would have the bride and the groom on the cake, like cake toppers?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see anything about that.
That is something that someone just asked me if I wanted, and I was like, I totally forgot that was like a thing.
A cake topper?
That like back in the day, they would have like the man and the woman, like little images of them on the cake.
I think Shane and I had a cake topper because we had cupcakes, but we had a little thing that said, "You are my sunshine."
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's so sweet.
Our recessional song was "Here Comes the Sun."
Oh, that's cute.
So sweet.
Okay, I don't know about the cake topper right now, but it says the tradition of having a tiered cake is because the top tier of the wedding cake would be thawed and used for the baby's christening.
I heard that you eat it on your 1-year anniversary.
Well, I think that's a newer tradition, probably.
We have
for child-free people.
So we're having a tiered cake. We already had the baby. So I don't know how that's going to work.
Well, she hasn't been christened.
Well, I guess not.
Will
she? Here's the problem
with
my tiered cake is that the top two are fake. Because they were like, here's the deal. You don't need all 4 tiers, but we want it to look like an elegant, nice cake. Only the bottom 2 are going to be real. The top 2, fake cake. So I'm very excited.
I heard that it wasn't always cake. Like that back in the day, it was something else. Probably more beans.
More beans.
Honestly, or like something cooked in Jell-O.
Yeah.
In Jell-O.
I'm trying to, I thought we talked about it. Shit.
We might have. I can't remember
this is why,
anything.
Like, I knew that we did a wedding traditions episode, but I don't remember anything we say ever. So when you were like, we'll talk about wedding traditions, I'm like, perfect. I forget. So good.
Yeah. So we're doing it again.
Yes.
Okay. I'll read like 4 more and then I'll let Corinne go.
Okay. Wait, can I interrupt?
Oh, yeah.
I just read about wedding toppers and we're not really entirely sure, but there's a legend. And the story goes that over 100 years ago, there was a daughter of a baker who was getting married. And she'd seen so many wedding cakes go out the door, but she wanted something special that really was symbolic of her and her groom. And so she asked her dad to make something special, like add something special to the cake. And he made them as like little figurines.
So she was breaking tradition.
She was baking tradition. And she was so jazzed about it and just so moved by her dad doing that. And the cake was like the centerpiece of their whole wedding. So everyone saw it and it kind of like inspired people.
What
and
a trendsetter.
And then she put it on Pinterest.
So cool.
Yes. This is like the most beautiful one that we have. Everything else
that's
is so dark, but
we needed that. We needed that little sprinkle of sunshine in there.
And then I'll bring us back down.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, bridal bouquets were to keep the plague away. Basically, it smelled nice and they thought that smelling roses and those types of things would prevent you from getting sick.
Oh, good.
That's the something old, something new. Okay, something old symbolizes ties to the past. Something new represents a bright future ahead. something borrowed is a transfer of happiness from a long married couple to the newlyweds. And something blue is a symbol of purity. Again, I don't understand.
Blue is purity, but so is white.
So is white. Well, okay, because Queen Victoria was the first to wear a white wedding dress in 1840. And then since then, white has become
because part of me thinks it was red before.
Oh, I thought red was like not pure because it's the blood.
Well, that means I got my period.
This said before then, brides simply wore their best dress.
Oh, the old. That's usually like I have one outfit that I call my funeral outfit. It's like my nice outfit that I wear to like just funerals. Yep. That's it. All the time again. And it has long sleeves, so like if there's a summer one, you just roll those puppies up. I don't know.
I just don't go. Don't die in the summer. That's what I say.
I've always said that. Don't die in the summer.
Since I was a wee lad, that is what I have said.
Although it is harder to break ground in the winter, and so they got to keep the bodies until the ground is thawed.
Yeah,
it'd be like that sometimes.
Oh, you're
die in the fall or spring.
Yes, only when the ground is moist,
softened.
We actually just did an episode on this legend called the Frozen People of Vermont, which was basically saying like there's this legend that like 150 years ago or whatever that Vermonters figured out cryonics, and they would basically like the poor farmers and poor families who knew that they wouldn't have enough food to feed all of the mouths that they had living in their multi-generation home would choose the people that were oldest and least capable of helping and would freeze them in the early winter and then thaw them out in the spring when it was time to have some help on the farm again.
When it would be easier for them to live.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I don't think it's like real.
I was like, does that work? Because I would love to be frozen until my wedding.
Amazing. Yeah, you might not ever have to deal with winter again.
Hibernate.
I would love that.
And then they just wake me back up and they're like, it's time to get married. And I'm like,
me up.
Thank God I didn't have to do any of that. Awesome.
September ends.
Okay, the last one that is really, really fricked up is is the whole like garter toss and stuff. So apparently back in the day,
I don't think I'm doing that.
There's a bunch of different versions of this, but like people would tear off like pieces of the wedding dress for luck of their own future wedding. So that's why now the bouquet is thrown. But the garter toss is because basically, you know, consummation had to happen after the marriage. So tossing the garter. Okay, basically, they would get married, they'd have their little feast, and then everyone would go watch as the bride and groom had sex and consummated the marriage for the first time. And the groom would throw the clothes off and like make a party of it and throw it into the audience, basically.
They watched it? They'd watch them consummate the marriage?
Yeah, they had to confirm that they consummated the marriage.
What?
Yeah.
No. Well, that's a tradition I'm bringing back.
It's like the red light district in Amsterdam.
I did have a couple who was like, we're going to need an extra long cocktail hour because we need to go up to the bridal suite and fuck. And I was like,
before the reception.
So people
penciled it in. Like,
people
we're gonna
are
make
just
sure we do
sitting
this.
and being like, so where are they? And I'm like, well. And then the maid of honor went upstairs to like touch up the bride. Before she came down.
You know what? They knew what they wanted and they did it. Everyone else knew what they wanted to.
All this information of like the traditions of weddings where people are like the sanctity of marriage and a man and a woman and blah blah blah. I'm like, maybe we don't go so hard for cis hetero weddings when this is what they were based off of.
Right.
Based off of women being property and having no purpose. Like there was one where the carrying a woman over the threshold of a new home is because they were nervous that if a woman tripped walking into the new home, it would curse them. So if the man carried her into the home, all good.
He throws her in.
Well, you know me and my weak ankles. I can't walk over that.
I need a strong man with his strong knees.
To be fair, I do be tripping.
Dirty knees.
I haven't gotten a good night's rest in weeks with this cake under my pillow. It smells horrible.
But don't worry, my man came to me.
Oh my God. And then he ripped all my clothes
And he walks in there and
in
he's
front
like,
of his parents.
why does your room smell like absolute butt shit? Cake that called you, my love.
It's spoiled now. Spoiled.
There's just like green and black mold coming out from under the pillowcase.
Icing in her hair.
Yeah. Oh my God. Love
He
it.
doesn't even exist because she's just hallucinating from mold poisoning.
100%.
For ghost weddings.
I mean,
100%.
there was a lot of hallucination from accidental poisonous food.
Yeah, that's the witch trials.
Yeah.
Moldy bread.
Hysteria.
Yes. Oh, we did talk about that. We talked about that episode 1.
Moldy bread.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Wow. You guys were ahead of your time.
I know. Damn it.
That was our gateway bread.
Yeah.
Okay, I have some
this
dark facts
Oh no.
for us. Just a few.
Okay.
And it's because I feel like the classic thing, well, the sad fact is women are more likely to be murdered by their spouse or someone known to them than they are to be murdered by someone who is a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
But when we talk about women,
fact.
Yeah.
that's a present day fact.
Yes.
And it probably is
past day
just
too.
a historical, like same thing forever. But whenever we talk about women being murderers, I feel like it's usually like, oh, women who kill, they poison their husbands. That's what we always hear. So I wanted to look up some facts about women poisoning their husbands. And poison.
Awesome.
Watch out, Brian. Corinne knows
get
a
me a
lot about
husband.
this.
I'm gonna need to know how to get rid of them.
He's the one that bought me the books all on botany and just like the different things.
He's like, try it.
He's just happy to be there.
I love it.
He wants to be included. Okay, poison is actually the 6th most common way for a woman to kill. So there's a lot of other ways before poison.
What are the other?
Interesting. What
I
are
didn't
they?
put them down because it's like gun, knife, like it's
okay. But they're weapons.
they're weapons.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
All the stuff you find in Clue and then poison.
exactly. Exactly.
A rope, a wrench.
Mhm. So while it's our 6th choice, women are still 7 times more likely than men to choose poison as their murder weapon.
Well, that's
There's
because we're
the
smarter.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not as violent.
right.
We're just subtle
We're
about our
planners.
ways. Yes.
It's more, well, that's the
The
thing.
slow con.
It's
Yes.
yeah. It's kind of like the emotion versus planned.
A
Yeah.
little bit of rat poison in your coffee every
Yeah.
morning.
It's like, okay, I have had enough of you. 15 years is far too long. And then you're like, well, I could do another 5 if I slowly poison them.
Have you watched Ginny and Georgia on Netflix?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. The flower.
She did it in one day though. She was just like,
She's like,
boom,
all
done,
right,
done.
you're doing some shady shit I don't like. Heart attack for you. Here's a flower in your smoothie.
That's
Spoiler
Dexter.
alert.
That's one of the seasons of Dexter.
Yeah,
too.
that
Yes. Hannah McKay.
Mhm. Yeah, and she has her whole garden in the back.
Yeah.
And just, well, and really women poisoning their husbands came out of the need to escape abusive relationships.
I was going to say that.
100%.
Originally, the woman who's credited with supplying poison to women to help them escape these. You like the way I phrased that?
no, I love that there's a supplier.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Her name was, I'm going to butcher this, but Giulia Tofana.
Oh.
And she died in Rome in 1651. So back in the 1600s, she was operating in Italy, selling this poison called aqua tofana, which was supposedly invented by her mother.
Oh.
And then she was the one that basically distributed it. It's rumored that there was a group of 6 women, and she was one of the 6 women that would meet kind of in secrecy with these other women and give them this prescription, which was this poison. It was this arsenic concoction that she would then
I'm living for
give
this.
to people.
I think it's Julia because G in Italian. Yeah.
It's
Julia.
Giulia. Giulia Tofana.
Love her.
Yeah.
And also, I'm assuming back in this period, there were also probably a lot of arranged marriages and things like that. So that
and
not
kidnappings.
not only are they stuck in a marriage that they're being abused in, but also they didn't even want to be in it in the first place.
Yeah. And they're probably underage.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it was probably all 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
This makes me feel like our grandma was Italian, and her mom, who was the OG bad bitch,
she was,
came from Italy. And so now I'm like, I just feel like they would be involved in this.
Yes.
If they weren't a purchaser, they maybe were they were definitely a supporter.
Yeah.
If not a maker.
Totally.
Yeah.
And there's some real empowerment behind this, because I think there were multiple women that they would serve for years. And the only reason that we know about this is because they got caught.
Oh, no.
And Julia Tofana was the one who had all the fingers pointed at her, though there's rumored to be 5 more people working with her. But
I love women supporting women.
Women supporting women. And the only reason they were caught was because there was another woman who was caught and was clearly not in a safe space, and probably to protect herself or attempt to lessen what would happen.
Yeah.
She then gave up the information, and Julia was tried and executed on July 12th of 1633 for this poisoning ring that she had started. But it was to help people escape their abusive spouses.
Where's the movie about that? Because I would watch that in a heartbeat.
Let's write it. Let's
for real. Let's do it. I am down.
Let's write it and also star in it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I've always wanted to, and this is still a goal of mine. When I sell my first show, I want to be a dead body in the pilot.
Yeah. Oh, I feel you have to. That would
I just want to play a dead body.
A little Alfred
the
Hitchcock
Marvel guy
version,
who was like randomly in all of the Marvel movies until he passed.
Stanley.
Yeah. Stanley something.
Or is it just Stan Lee?
No, I don't think is it Stan Lee?
I'm not a Marvel person.
I'm not a Marvel person either.
I'm not either.
That's like when I told when I realized my grandparents were calling Liberace Lee Barachi. And I was like, I'm pretty sure his last name is Liberace.
Liberace.
We were both half right, because his first name, like the nickname, was Lee. So he was Lee Liberace, but they were combining it.
Lee Liberace.
Liberace.
My mom had a cousin named Chris Muscati, and they would say her name really fast and say Christmas Scotty. And I was like, your cousin's name is Christmas? Scotty?
Yeah. Christmas Scotty.
That's how I address
Scotty.
So the first baby's named Dove, and then the second baby is Christmas. Maybe that's how it should go.
Yep.
Because you can take the girl out of the Catholic Church, but you can't take the Catholicism out of the girl.
The Christ out of Christmas.
The Christ within.
Oh, wow. Well, that was, I love that ending, actually. Wait, was it that the last story?
That's the ending. Yeah.
That was that honestly, you said dark, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to get sad. But I'm kind of feeling empowered by that.
It's more like disturbing. And
let's bring back
but
poisoning rings.
Poisoning rings.
Yeah, if we're going to talk about, if we're going to pick traditions, I pick the one where we poison people who are abusing people.
Yeah, I like that.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
And for legal purposes, that's a joke.
Oh, no.
I know, I was just going to say, do we make a disclaimer? We are not advocating that you poison your husbands.
No, please don't. Hey, these are all jokey jokes. Please don't yell at us.
Jokey of jokes.
Don't tell
but we should also put like resources. If you are in an abusive relationship, there are resources available, and we will link them.
Yes,
because
I think we have some in our link tree on our Instagram.
Okay, good.
Oh, perfect. We'll snag some there. But okay, so Ciara, you're doing the cake. What other traditions are you doing?
Well, we're not doing like a first look. So the first time he'll see me is walking down.
Because you want to see him cry.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Honestly,
and you like to see him cry. Yeah.
Yes, I just feel like that'll be a good. Plus, I don't know. That's what he wanted to do. So I let him pick. I was like, "That's your move, however you feel comfortable." But then, okay, so there's something. I know this was in Catholic weddings, correct? but that's not why we're doing it. But there used to be like a lighting of a candles,
a unity candle.
like a unity ceremony, right?
I love that.
The mothers would go up and light 2 separate candles, and then the couple would each grab the candle that their mom lit and light
a candle together.
Nice.
So we are doing something similar, but different, because we're doing like pouring sand in, but instead of our parents like giving us away, we're doing it with our kids, because we are a blended family. I have a son from a previous relationship, and then so it's going to be like us 2 plus our daughter together, and then my son. So it'll be like we're all one.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful.
Yeah. Sweet. So I love that tradition, because I'm like, it is more like a religious tradition, but I think the way that we're doing is not so much of like, I'm my parents' property and now we get to be together. Yeah. It's more like, now our family is all one. And I think that's really that's kind of like the tradition wise. Our wedding is going to be so incredibly short. Like, you are doing 10 minutes.
You are doing a father, daughter, mother, son dance.
Yeah. But like, I that's like receptions.
Yeah.
But as far as the wedding goes, it's going to be in and out. We're not doing anything. I think we're even doing like a vow thing separately. But like, we're saying our vows separate, just the 2 of us, and like the videographer can catch some of it. But other than that, we're not having a big wedding either. Like, we're inviting like 20 people to the actual wedding.
Intimate ceremony.
Big reception.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Because I don't like a lot of, it's so funny because I'll say I don't like eyes on me, and everybody's like, you have like 1.4 million on TikTok. I don't understand. I'm
you
like,
don't
that's
see
but
the
it's
eyes
different.
looking at
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
I feel the same way.
I don't like seeing their eyes on me.
Yeah.
It freaks me out. So I think I'll feel more comfortable if I'm already drunk by the time the reception happens, which I probably will be. And that'll be great.
I get it. Yeah.
We're doing
what about you?
What are your traditions other than the breaking of the glass? Or do you have any unity thing?
Sorry? What?
Do you have any unity situation?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Just I do.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I guess we gave like my brother kind of we were just like Googling different scripts for the ceremony. And then we gave my brother basically a sheet that was like, say whatever you want for these 3 minutes. And that like, we're basically having a 10-minute ceremony as well, because we were way more focused on cocktail hour and reception. So it's very quick. And then it's just the kind of, I wanted it the until death do you part, because we're obviously a little spooky. So I like put that, I was like, Christian, just say this. And then like, we now pronounce you. I do, whatever. Like just that part.
Yeah.
But we're not doing a lot of stuff. We're like not doing a cake. We're not doing a bunch of speeches. Only my dad is doing a speech. And then Brian and I are doing a speech.
Oh, I love that.
That's cute.
Yeah. We're not doing like the garter toss or anything like that. Oh, I think one thing that was maybe untraditional, non-traditional words is we are having it 21 and up. And that was the only part of the wedding that did cause a little stir amongst some people.
I also wanted to do the same. I didn't want to do 21 and up, but I wanted to do like no children except for our own. And even I told Jerry, I was like, if it was up to me, my kids wouldn't be at the reception. Okay. I feel like wedding, sure. Reception, I'm trying to have a party.
Well, I'll tell you, I had a lot of couples with kids who send their kids home. That's at a certain point.
That's probably what's going to happen, because I don't want to have to censor the amount of fun that we're going to have.
Yeah,
like how it's going to go.
And because that can be a scary thing for a kid to witness too. Like I remember attending a wedding before, and my dad was super drunk, and I was so like, it has stuck in my head forever that I thought my dad was going to get hit by a car going across the street.
Yes, 100%. And you know, don't let them worry about that. Go home, sleep it off. They're probably going to go home with my grandparents, because I know my grandparents are going to dip early. Like, as soon as the dances are over, we're going home. And I'm like, that's fair. You guys,
that's okay.
Yeah,
my sister had, and this is different because she had everyone fly to Italy for her wedding. So, people leaving their kids is a little bit harder for that. She had like a babysitter or like someone on property to watch all the kids. So there was this room. I feel like they were like in a cage. I mean, it was a nice big room.
It was a nice cage.
It was a nice cage, but like the door was locked and they were in there they had no supervision. I'm just kidding. They were in there with someone watching them and they just had their own little party.
That's love nice because then if the parents are like me where they're like, I have to go check and make sure they're okay, especially if I get like a little tipsy. I'm like, I need to make sure they're fine because I just get like, then you just pop your head in. Oh, you guys good? All right, bye. But I did kind of say that I wanted it kid free. And I know there was a little bit of pushback on that. And then I was also like, it wasn't from you, but we had discussed this. I was like, I would rather you be able to come and not have to worry about your kids the whole time. You know what I mean? Well, I feel like that takes away from wanting to have fun with everybody.
This was something we talked about too, because everyone like to this day still talks about how much fun my wedding was.
It was.
And I think people, whenever they have their wedding, are like, it wasn't like that. And that's because there were no children.
Yeah, you got married first.
Yeah. And so like you had Noah, but Noah went home.
Yeah, he didn't come to the reception.
Right.
Yeah.
And so because it is different when you're like dancing and like letting loose and having so much fun on the dance floor, and then an 8-year-old breezes by you, and then you're like, I need to not scar this child.
Or the 8-year-old is so cute and dances in the middle, and everyone just watches the 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, and like I was pregnant for my sister's wedding, so I couldn't drink or get down like how I normally would.
Yeah.
And then after that, people had like young kids, or I had like at our cousin's wedding, I had both my toddlers there. So like it's very different when kids are present.
Yeah. Just a different, you can't let loose as much. You're still in parent mode. And then someone's got to watch the kids to make sure they're not, there's a lot of expensive things too that for sure, around, or things that can get broken and aren't toddler proof. And that's why I was like ready for my daughter, because she won't even be 2 yet. So I'm fine with her leaving after that, because I know how many things she already tries to grab now and I'm put in her mouth. But unless somebody has constantly got their eyes on you, you're going to be trying to eat some of that stuff. And it was expensive. So please don't do that.
Yes.
So I understand the pushback, because we got a little bit as well, but it's your day, and
it's your day.
Yeah. And also I realized like I need to be less of a bitch, because I am like, Sabrina's
like Jerry's teenager miss.
Yes. Like I came out the womb being like, here are my opinions and here's what I want to do. And I'm extremely stubborn. And like, this is, if I've made a decision, it's very hard for people to sway me or for their negativity to affect me. Cause I'm like, that's your issue. Like go talk about it with someone else. And so I did find myself being a little snappy and snippy when people did push back on the kid thing. And I was like, I need to just explain it better than being like, oh, you're welcome to have a family reunion if you're looking to have children in the same group together. I'll gladly attend that.
Yes. But honestly, it's so, if you wouldn't be like, hey, my kids need to come to this party that you're throwing. You know what I mean? So, and that's what the reception is for a lot of people, especially if there's like an open bar, and it is like a big party. So I don't understand the push people have to like, my children need to be there. It's like, hey, I promise you, as a kid who was forced to come to many weddings, they don't want to be there.
No. They just want someone to take a picture of their family in certain attire so that they can post it.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
That's how I feel.
Well, you're the photographer who's probably like, can you take a photo of us?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did see on TikTok, I was watching a year ago, I got sucked into all those videos. Like, here's 10 things I did at my wedding, or here's 10 things that are unique that like did or didn't work out. And there was one that I think would only work if you were having a little bit smaller of a ceremony, but someone, or a wedding reception, but someone had set up basically a backdrop specifically for people to take their holiday photos together and their family photos. And
that's
so it was like,
fun.
It was almost like a step and repeat entering the cocktail hour, so that they could just get it over with. People would have a good photo of themselves that they would feel good about, and then they can just move on and enjoy the rest of the evening and not take away too much from like where the photographer is supposed to be.
Right.
One thing that I thought was really cool is, instead of doing like because people do like a dollar dance, fucking most nightmarish situation for a photographer, because it's like, how many pictures do you really want swaying back and forth with random people?
I'm not doing
right.
I don't want that many people to touch me at all.
No.
So if they want the photo of just like who's there. Because another one is they wanted me to like take photos of them talking to random people. And I'm like, some people you get the back of their head. It's just, so one of the things that they did is they had every the DJ basically announced it, and he's like, the couple is going to come around, be ready when they get to your table, group photo. And I'm like, all right, that's what one song, take a picture.
And it's fun. It's like a song that's like really upbeat and the couple's kind of running around. Yeah.
Wait, I think I might do that. I like that.
It's really
I know
fun.
I was going to say, actually, I think I'm going to do that.
Or I've seen it where they have the couple sit in the center and then they have tables come up. But
that's also scary too. I'm like,
it's a
that
little
takes
bit
more
easier.
Time.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier for you to go table to table because there's not as many moving parts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to tell people who are lingering, like, we already had your photo, get out.
Yep.
You just have every table like, get ready, be ready, and stand in your position. You just jump into the front.
I like that because I did have like the concern, because obviously everyone you invite to your wedding, you want to be there. So I want memories of them being there. So I was trying to think of like, and I know sometimes people bring everyone onto the dance floor, but then there's always the two people that are in the bathroom, and then you know,
it's extra hard from a photographer standpoint too, because depending on how large your wedding is, I can't get all those people in there. I don't have a high enough place to shoot from.
Duplicate yourself or something.
Yeah. And I don't feel like doing the work to like take a photo, merge it together. This isn't Washington, D.C. I'm not trying to do
I'm not getting a panoramic.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I like that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So Jerry, you've been to so many weddings because you've photographed so many. So what are some of the things that you think are worth it or not worth it?
I don't think... I don't even know.
Everyone can decide for themselves, I guess.
But from a photographer perspective,
I'll say photographer perspective, anything, unless you're having a Catholic wedding, unless you have to have, if there's like a distance between where your ceremony and your reception is, or if you have like a different destination where you want photos, you do not need more than 8 hours. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's a waste of time and it's a waste of money, because as far as like a getting ready photo and a dancing photo, you don't need that many of them.
Yeah.
The core part of the photography is happening during the day, at least the candid part of it. You don't need candid photos of getting ready and candid photos of dancing.
I don't want them. I'll tell you, as
they all
somebody
kind of
who's
look the same too.
They do.
I get down at weddings. Like I get down. I love being invited to weddings. It's
you got that like
fun.
stank face going.
Dude, every time. So then I get so mad because I'll look at the photographer's pictures and I'm like this and all of them with like my frown face, and I'm like getting like in the weirdest positions. I'm like, why would you take that picture? And why would you post it online? Like, why? Does that look flattering to anybody? No. I know that I looked good when I was doing it, but that still photo doesn't do it justice.
That's only for the videographer.
And a lot of times,
I don't need that. The dance no one's going to print it and frame it.
100%. And the dance floor normally is at its most full, like toward the beginning of the reception.
Yeah.
And so people are less sloppy and people are still there. And so if you want someone to stay for like 10, 12 hours, I'm just standing around eating cake.
Yeah.
Truthfully. And I'm not in it to steal money from you. And so when people are like, but what about, I want dancing photos. You ever heard of a high-speed shutter? I can take 60 photos in one song and make it look like a whole evening.
Yes, honestly. That, or like get your cameras out. We all have really nice phone or cameras on our phones these days. Like, take a couple videos yourself.
A bunch. I hate a lot of reception events.
Yeah.
I think if you want to have a meaningful dance with someone, have that meaningful dance. Otherwise, the longer you take to get to the party part, the more people are just sitting around being like,
what are we doing here?
There's no need for all of these logistics if it's not true to who you are as a couple. So just get to the part where you enjoy each other.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's what we're doing
fun.
too.
Like a wedding's supposed to be fun.
Right.
Yep.
What are you doing for music? Are you doing a band, a DJ? Do you have like
we have
here's
a DJ.
What you should not play?
The DJ, what I told him was early 2000s, make me feel like I'm at prom again. Like, I want it.
Yes.
You know, I mean, apple bottom jeans, boots with
Oh my gosh.
Like,
yes.
I can't.
It's going to be a lot of
cannot stand when people have like strictly country at their weddings. Because I'm like, unless we all know line dances,
why are we doing this?
You can't dance to this.
Yeah. No. And even like the older, every wedding I've gone to that has like those songs from that time period, even the older people are dancing. They're easy songs to move to, even if you don't know them. But everybody knows them because they've been on every freaking radio show. And like, that was such a time period that you'll get people that are in their younger.
It's nostalgic.
It's so nostalgic.
Yes.
Gets the people going.
Gets the people going. Gets people like weird.
Yeah.
Which is I want my wedding to be weird. Like, your aunt just losing their minds to like a Backstreet Boys song or something.
You know what,
like,
Jerry?
That's gonna happen as well.
Maybe like if you're at the wedding and the old like 2000s music is playing, maybe you're missed. Your teenage self.
Oh my God.
Like,
I totally forgot to add this part to it. So later that night, I had someone say, hey, I played the piano and I want to share it with my therapist, but I've never recorded myself playing before. Would you listen to it for me? Just so she's not the first person to see it. And I was like, yeah, for sure. When I tell you I started sobbing watching this person playing the piano, I mean like inconsolable sobbing. And I was transported back to being a teenager listening to music and using it as an escape. Aww. And I was like, I genuinely felt like the mist came out from behind the steps when I was watching this. So like it was
music, powerful.
It's a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
The mist will break it down for sure.
The mist will break it down for
sure. The mist has an attitude and it comes out with music.
I love it. Dank face.
I love it. You can bait her out through like Napoleon Dynamite like choreography.
Oh, 100% because I love Napoleon Dynamite. I dressed up as Napoleon Dynamite for Halloween.
Yes, so good. Did you have tater tots in your pocket?
No, I should have.
You should have.
I should have.
You got to do it again.
Yeah.
I fully committed though and got like the glasses, but they were definitely prescription. And I was like, I got drunk.
Like little
because
dizzy.
I had them on.
Wait, that adds to it though.
Yeah.
You did a little bit.
I love it.
It was fun.
I guess part 2 will be on your feed, right?
Yes.
We're not done talking.
No, we have more. We have so many.
This is our spin-off podcast called Four Women Talking.
Yeah.
That's us.
Let's do it.
Well, thank you guys for joining us again.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. It was
happy
fun.
wedding season
fun again.
Yeah. It took a while to get into the wedding season, but you know,
we
processing trauma, crying.
So now that we know ghosts, the dark traditions, we'll get to play some fun games and have a little bit more of like a Bachelorette vibe. So on your feed.
Yes.
Yeah. We will see you on the other side.